Think you know American history? Think again. Entire nations vanished. Colonies disappeared. Some of America's earliest empires. Brutal, brilliant, and completely ignored. Tonight, we uncover the 33 darkest truths about Native America, the stories they don't teach in school. Before Europeans arrived, North America had over 500 tribes each, with its own language, culture, and government. Life was vibrant, complex, and often violent. The Comanche and Sioux built empires, rivaling those of Europe. They traded, fought wars, and controlled massive territories. Tribes armed by French and British traders fought brutal wars over territory and resources. Entire nations disappeared long before the U.S. existed. Native leaders negotiated treaties and alliances, often playing European powers against each other. Survival demanded intelligence and cunning. Manhattan wasn't bought for $24 in beads. The Dutch traded with the wrong tribe. The real owners had no idea. Smallpox and measles decimated tribes. Some nations lost up to 90% of their population before ever seeing a European soldier. Some historians believe the vanished Roanoke colonists were absorbed into local tribes. Early interactions were dangerous and mysterious. The Three Sisters, crops, corn, beans, and squash fed entire nations. Tribes engineered agriculture long before European tools arrived. Comanche warriors rode like extensions of their bodies, shooting arrows mid-flip. They dominated the Great Plains for decades. 6 nations united under the Iroquois Confederacy. Their council system influenced ideas about democracy and governance. Tribes traded furs, pottery, and food across hundreds of miles. A thriving interconnected economy existed long before Europe tried to dominate. Rivalries existed long before Europeans arrived. Wars over land and resources shaped the continent. Thousands of Cherokee, Creek, and Choctaw were forced to relocate. Starvation and disease claimed many lives. Hundreds of treaties signed with tribes were ignored or broken, leaving nations dispossessed. In 1876, Sioux and Cheyenne warriors defeated General Custer's army. Native resistance wasn't passive, it was fierce. The ghost dance promised a return of lands and ancestors. It ended tragically at Wounded Knee in 1890. Many tribes valued women as leaders. Iroquois women could veto council decisions, a power unheard of in Europe. Rituals were labeled pagan, but they held deep meaning and were central to identity. Children were taken from families and stripped of language and culture. Identity was systematically erased. Tribes preserved languages, stories, and traditions. Oral history became a weapon against erasure. Guerrilla warfare and knowledge of the land let small groups outsmart larger armies. The Seminole fought 3 wars against the U.S., using guerrilla tactics and terrain to survive. Geronimo led decades of resistance, defending Apache homelands with cunning and ferocity. El Buffalo fed and clothed plains tribes. U.S. expansion destroyed herds, striking at the heart of culture. Thousands were forced on a 300-mile march to internment camps. Many died. Survivors rebuilt their communities from scratch. Settlers relied on native crops and medicine to survive harsh conditions. Knowledge was priceless. Some historians believe native governance inspired the U.S. Constitution. Democracy wasn't purely European. Stories preserved survival skills, history, and morals, passing knowledge across generations. From Standing Rock to ongoing land rights battles, tribes continue to fight for sovereignty. Pottery, beadwork, and textiles preserved identity, history, and messages for the future. Hundreds of languages are endangered. Preserving them keeps culture and history alive. Modern tribes elect leaders, run governments, and maintain cultural traditions, continuing centuries of resilience. Understanding Native history doesn't mean hating America. It means learning, reflecting, and honoring the first peoples. History isn't a fairy tale. It's a mirror. It shows us who we were, so we can choose who we want to become. Want to uncover more hidden chapters of American history? Subscribe and follow this journey, because the story is far from over.